So people are scared of dolls coming to life and murdering them? That's a good idea for a horror movie. Yeah! Great idea. Hey everyone, it's Nightmare, and today we're taking a look back at the Child's Play movies, or I should say the Chucky movies. Now, many of you probably say, Chucky? Chucky's not scary. Well, considering back in 1988 or 89, was it 88 or 89? It was one of the two. Um, that, Chucky kind of terrified people. And it spawned several sequels. I think it did scare people. Now, I know what you're thinking. The first one is obviously the creepiest one. And it's have to do with the fact that you don't know. That's the whole thing is you don't know that Andy is the killer or is Andy going crazy. You don't simply know. You're just something in your gut when you look at that small child and you say, could he be a killer? Could he not? Could he just be pulling a leg? Or maybe he's have the making of a psychopath. Which obviously, he's not the killer. Spoilers, but you really should have watched a Child's Play movie or any of them, at this point in time. So, but yeah, Child's Play. Now, I have not seen Child's Play, the original one. I have not seen it in a number of years. It's very rare to find it on TV. Though I remember one of the first times I ever saw Child's Play was on a network channel. One of the I think it was USPN before they switched over to My TV or something like that. And if any of you don't know what USPN is, you got problems. So this had to have been, oh gosh, had to have been very late 2000s, I would say, or maybe mid 2000s, around that point. Though Child's Play, the original Child's Play, was not the first one I saw. No, I saw two before I saw the original, and then even before I saw two, I saw Bride of Chucky. But like I said, one is very rare to find it on. You would think people would pump it out because Halloween and all that, but no, it's kind of one of those movies that it's like you can't really find it. It's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street in that respect. You're like looking through the channels and you're like, where's Child's Play? The other ones are playing. Why not the original? And I think the reason why is because of copyrights with that one. I'm not sure. I think it is copyrights, or well then again, people they're just not interested. But it's the original. Everyone's interested at least in the original. But we did own it at a point, so I do remember watching it when I was little, and then I heard a familiar voice in it. I'm like, that voice kind of sounds familiar, and if anyone know what I'm fucking talking about, now I saw The Nightmare Before Christmas way before seeing Child's Play, so you know why when I say the voice in Child's Play sounds very familiar do a voice I hear in The Nightmare Before Christmas, you know what I'm talking about. And if any of you guys are left in the dark, saying, what the fuck is she going on about? Chris Sarandon, who plays Detective Mike Norris in Child's Play, is also the speaking role of Jack, in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and did, the Kingdom Hearts games and The Nightmare Before Christmas game, Ogie's Revenge, and did several things, with Disney. Did a voice recording of Jack, for the Disneyland, Halloween fireworks, and also did some voiceover work for the Holiday Haunted Mansion. So I'm like, oh my god, it's Jack! It's Jack's VA. I'm like, then no, I didn't call him VA, but it's like, it's Jack. So but yeah, Child's Play is very, very terrifying. It's a very terrifying movie, and it's kind of sad because it kind of ruined it towards the end when Chucky actually stalks and he spews out swears left and right. If they went in the direction saying he, the whole kind of like what Freddy was before his wisecracks days. Think that probably would have worked, but Brad Dourif did such a wonderful job. I don't think you can have anyone else play Chucky in any type of form. Kind of will feel weird. I'm like, this ain't Chucky. Which they almost, if you guys don't know, Brad Dourif wasn't necessarily cast to voice Chucky. He was cast to play Charles Lee Ray, and he would no longer be in the movie. They originally was going to have Chucky sound a little more doll-like, but when David Kushner and I forgot the other guy name. I'm sorry. I forgot the other guy name. When those two guys heard the voice, the doll-like voice, they're like, this is too feminine. This is kind of like, ooh. Oh, Don Manchi, I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's Don Manchi. Manchi. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Sorry, I'm a bad horror fan. But yeah, that was the guy's name I was trying to remember. The voice was too feminine. It kind of sounded gay. So they decided, you know what? Let's go back to Brad and just do him do the VA, and it was a perfect pairing. So kind of have to thank the doll like voice for getting the boot to get Brad Dourif to voice Chucky. So Child's Play, the original, was released by MGM. MGM did not want anything to do with the movie after a while. They were kind of like, yeah. We're trying to go back to friendly. We're trying to, regain our film, but it ended up in bankruptcy. But Universal at that time. So this was in the early 90s. Universal was trying to look for a new iconic monster because, let's face it, Universal back in the 30s and 40s was probably the god of the horror community because they had all these the Universal monsters, and that's kind of what got Universal through a rough patch. So I'm guessing Universal said we would love to pick up the Child's Play movie and do a sequel, which is where Child's Play 2 comes to play. Now, Child's Play 2, it was the first one I saw. So I didn't have any context of one. They kind of, did a brief recapping, and the second one very oh, excuse me, very brief. So what ended up happening is that Andy's sent to live with a placement family or foster family, whatever, and he knows that if Chucky gets reborn in the doll body again, he would go after Andy. So it's like he's telling his foster's parents, like saying, when the Chucky doll, Tommy, Tom, oh God, I think that's funny, was replaced by Chucky, he's trying to say, Chucky's evil, and of course they don't believe him. They think he's wacko, and they get killed for their dumbass efforts. So that the whole ending part when him and Kyle are running through the good guy doll factory is what I remember the most about. And if anyone remembers sci-fi during the heyday, sci-fi had a different ending, or an ending added to the ending, and it was the doors open where the Chucky's mutilated body was came out of before he got his head blown off. The doors opened to that, and it shows a head, and those head and the eyes on that turn demonic, very evil. And I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, oh my God. And when HBO, when we had HBO, when they aired it, I was like, where's the ending? Because I thought that was the true ending. I said, no, that's not the true ending. So, I do like two. Two, while it's a good successor to one, it's not one, it doesn't have any spooky element. Though the whole chasing through the doll factory is spooky in itself, because they have pretty much tools that is easy killing and such. Now, after the success of Child's Play 2, Universal pretty much said, we want a sequel, we want it now. So Child's Play 3 it was only released 9 months after 2, which you can tell it's horrible. It's an army movie just with Chucky in it. That's pretty much all I can say. That's really all I can say about 2, because not 2, 3. Is it funny? Yes. Again, the ending bit when the little kid Tyler, is in that roller coaster room, or whatever, the crazy haunted house or whatever. That's the part I remember most from 2. Probably that's the part most people remember up to. I keep on saying 2, 3. I mean 3. That what everyone probably remember of 3, the most is that scene. Cause everything else is kind of like, it's really out of place. That's kind of like, and you can tell, you know, so after Child's Play 3, well, it did good. It didn't do as good as Universal's thought. So, the Child Play series went dormant. And then to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the original Child's Play, we get Bride of Chucky, which at the time I loved. Not gonna lie, I saw it at an age when I think I shouldn't have seen it, but then again, I did watch Nightmare on Elm Street 4 at an age where I shouldn't. Excuse me, where I shouldn't have seen it. But I loved it. I thought it was a good movie. Looking back at it now, it's kind of like, okay, it's not that great. It's not as great as I thought it was. So, oops. So it's kind of like everyone seems to love Bride of Chucky, though. It's kind of like you love it because it's bad, sort of thing. I'm like, I loved it when I was little because I didn't know better, but now I know better, and I kind of don't like it anymore. I enjoyed the introduction of Tiffany. That's always good, but everything else is kind of like, you know, it's that movie, and it's kind of, it's obvious, and then we got, Seed of Chucky, oh boy, Seed of Chucky. Now, I don't fucking have to go into details about that, because that is the worst of the franchise by none. The 3 skipped was Seed of Chucky, because for the longest time, 3 was the worst, and then Seed of Chucky came out, and I'm like, oh my god, Child's Play 3 is like God compared to this movie, but some people seem to like it. It's one of those movies. Again, it's kind of like, yeah. Oh Jesus. Um, oh Jesus, that movie. So, thank God the series went dormant, and yes, there was a break between Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. I don't know why, because oh God, but after the break from Seed of Chucky, people were wondering, is this gonna get a remake? And if it is, because that was like the rumor for the longest time. And then the creator, Don Mancini, said, no, me and David Kirshner, I think they both worked on it. I could be wrong. Did the direct to DVD, Curse of Chucky, which I heard is pretty good. I didn't see it. I'm hoping Netflix would probably put it on this Halloween season. If so, I'll probably watch it, because a lot of people seems to love it. They say Chucky is back to being dark. He still cracks some jokes, but it's a better Child's Play movie. It's the best Child's Play movie a lot of people said since 2, or people in the case since Bride of Chucky. So hopefully I'll be able to watch this season. If not, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, but I heard it's pretty good. And yeah, you get some backstory and Curse of Chucky. So I'm interested to see what it is. I only saw some clips of Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. See, Curse Bride, it's kind of all the same thing, kind of mixed together. So, hopefully, Netflix will put it up. I hope. One can only hope. But yeah, that is pretty much my look back on the Child's Play movies or the Chucky movies. While it isn't the greatest horror slasher franchise, it's probably one of the best remembered from my childhood. Simply because it was usually on all the time. Sci-Fi usually aired it. USA used to air it. It's kind of like one of those movies, those films, except for one, that were on at least a couple of times a year. So that is it for this time, my lovelies. If you wondering what I should do a look back on, please leave me a comment in the comment section. Or if you have a certain horror movie that you want me to talk about, um, I'm all ears. Hopefully, I don't know how long, you know, I can, if I don't do it this year, I'll probably do it next year, it's all that. So it's like, I have so much stuff to do still, but I always will have time to do a review or an overview or what have you. So until next time, my lovelies, I'll see you guys later.